Group 1 racing returns to Sha Tin this weekend with the Stewards Cup and the Centenary Sprint Cup as well, with both winners from last year back to defend their titles. Very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune. I'm joined here in the studio by former analyst Paul Lally and former analyst Graham Cunningham as well. Graham, and it's great to have the big guns back for this weekend. It's fantastic. And by Sunday night, we'll know whether Beauty Generation is back or whether the King has finally lost his crown. Beat the Clock, by contrast, has gone from strength to strength of late. Can't wait to see him on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a great clash. It's basically a rerun of the sprint pool, maybe minus a couple of them. But jackpot-wise first, what are we looking at? Just the one. We've got the triple trio. There's a $1 million going into the triple trio, so we're expecting to get up to $3 million for a winning single unit. So there's just the one jackpot. There's a few first starters as per normal, and some good betting races, especially with those big boys out to play. Yeah, speaking of big boys as well, Zach Purton is back. Sat out the last two meetings, Graham, with suspension, but he'll be itching to get back amongst it. And he'll be pleasantly surprised that he really didn't lose much ground to Joe Moreira in the title race. So it's time to get busy again, and Beauty Generation is obviously the point with which everything revolves around for Zach tomorrow. That's the big ride in the Stewards Cup, and a ride full of beauty in the sprints as well. So two big chances there. As far as Sunday's programme is concerned, there's one scratching to pass on, and that's out of the Centenary Sprint Cup. It's Premier as well, which definitely makes a difference to the speed map, which we'll talk about in due course, but he's out of race number 7. This is meeting number 37 of the season, all 10 races on the turf on the A+3 course this weekend. We start off with a Class 4. We're all Class 4 and above on Sunday. 2,000 metres the trip, headed by Magnetism. One at Happy Valley, 2 starts back over the 1,800 metres, takes the drop in class. Tangmere off the inside gate, course and distance first time. London Hall, 4th on his last 2 starts. Villafion, who was a winner 2 starts back, that was over the mile. Above, a 2-time winner this season, over the 2,000 and 2,200 metres. We get down to Murray's Partners, 4th at Happy Valley last time out. He's another one up in trip. And President Star, the blinkers come off. He'll jump from barrier 6. Could well be a pace angle. Exaltation, Above, and Good Days are the 3 horses that have been up and back to Chung Fa within the last month. Speed look, or should be reasonably solid here, Graham? Yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly mixed gallop. Relatively ordinary horses over a distance of ground. President Star looks the one to take them along, but there aren't too many likely lads to pressure him. So Tangmere has some speed. He shouldn't be too far away. Interesting to see where Joe Moreira goes on London Hall. He tends to drop out and come wide. Looking here at Magnetism, our first bit of track work here. He goes nicely, and he's sort of got a new lease of life, the old boy. He's comes back down into Class 4. He's an 8-year-old now, but his last 2 runs have both been good. He did win in Class 4 and then ran a not a bad race in Class 3. London Hall, the one Graham was just talking about, he's going nicely in his work. He's had a few runs now this season. This will be his 6th, so he's pretty fit going into this contest, and his work's been good, and he's nice and relaxed there. And I thought Above, we're going up to Chung Fa here to have a look at Above. This is his go, getting up and over ground. His wins have been over 2,000 and 2,200, and he's a very fit horse. He is, and very consistent as well. We'll have a look at one of those wins in a moment or so. Let's start off with Magnetism. Now, just bear in mind, this is a Class 3 contest we're looking or watching here. When he runs 4th, not beaten far behind Clement Legend. He does nearly all his running at Happy Valley of late. I think the last 14 runs have been at the Valley. This win was gutsy. All out, charges down the outside. He's run again since, 4th in a Class 3 contest from the rear. So he has the ability. A significant point to mention, I think, he also has Zach Purton, 1 from 1 with Zach Purton aboard. Yep. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good run from him in a higher grade. This one looks a little bit easier. All right, OK, so that's Magnetism. London Hall's been very consistent with his last 2 starts, running 4th over the 1,800 metres. Gets back up to the mile and a quarter. Yeah, 6th up now. Look, he's won off a rating of 53, so he's still above that rating of 56 at the moment. But look, he's very consistent. He's been running pretty well. It's just his pace in the race, which I just had a little query about him. But I think he can sort of sit back. He has sprinted off a slow pace before in the past of one of those wins, so I think he's one of the leading chances. I think he is as well. I agree about the pace angle. He would need a decent gallop if he gets it. I think he's a big runner. OK, that's London Hall. Above brings winning form to the table. Bullish Glory again, and Glory Days also involved once more. He comes here in great heart. 5 starts this season. He's only missed the top 4 once. Yeah, he was just a little behind London Hall last time, but overall
he's been in really good nick for a while, this horse.
Yeah, he has, and he's won at Sha Tin and Happy Valley. His wins, as I said before, were over 2,000 and 2,200. Now, he's a possible pace angle to put a bit of extra pace in because he has led in the past at Sha Tin.
All right. Sylvester de Sosa jumps back on board. He has won on the horse in the past, just one ride actually for that one win. London Hall, favourite at this stage, Paul?
Yeah, so I've got him on top, London Hall. I think he can sit slightly closer if the pace is slow. I think Joe will work it out halfway through the race there. Now above, it'll be interesting to see if he does sit back or he does put a bit of pressure on, because that'll give London Hall the pace. So I'm sort of banking on that a little bit. Tangmere, now he's run third off a rating of 69. He's now rated 58. So he's a well-rated horse. And Villafon in for fourth. 4, 6, 2 and 5.
Same horse on top for me. Number 4, London Hall. I do want him to get a good gallop. If he does, I think he's a serious player. And in behind him, Magnetism with Purton aboard. Above, I think, is pretty consistent. And Bullish Glory, a horse at a price who could add a bit of value. Yeah,
I think it's a pretty competitive race. Couldn't find a place for Magnetism, but 4 and 6, 6 and 4, that's my cue here in race number 1. London Hall on top for me.